How's it going, everyone? I'm Keegs, and the Clone Troopers are an absolutely essential part of the Star Wars universe and Star Wars lore, but specifically I want to talk about one of the most impactful and important Clone Troopers, Captain Rex. Rex was a first-generation clone trooper made and raised on Kamino with all of the other clone troopers and given additional training to be a captain. As like all of the clones, the Kaminoans designed them to mature twice as fast as regular humans, and therefore when Rex was about 10 years old, he went to battle for the Grand Army of the Republic to fight the newly emerged separatist forces led by Count Dooku. Rex was assigned the 501st Legion and quickly gained notoriety as he won countless battles and eventually gained the symbol on his helmet known as Jedi, which come from an old Mandalorian word, and it was a symbol given out as a great combat honor. Fun fact, Kanan Jarrus had these on his face mask too after he was blinded, presumably awarded to him by Rex. The 501st Legion was put under the command of Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, and since Anakin and Obi-Wan often worked together, Rex, as Anakin's second in command, often worked with Commander Cody, who was Obi-Wan's second in command. They fought together for a few months, and Rex quickly gained a respect for Commander Skywalker, and they eventually went to the Battle of Christophsis, where Rex met Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka called Anakin Sky Guy, which initially made Rex chuckle a bit, and for that Anakin ordered Rex to show her the ropes, which is how Rex gained a mentorship role in Ahsoka's life. Ahsoka, being about only 14 years old and not even an apprentice yet, actually said,
"If you're a captain and I'm a Jedi, then technically I outrank you, right?"
In my book, experience outranks everything.
This is an important mentality that Rex has, and it's what makes him such a good captain, because although he's eager to follow orders, he also believes rank doesn't always mean everything, and he trusts the other clones under his command just as much as he trusts his superiors. Which is a place where we see a lot of conflict between the clones, whether to obey all orders or to occasionally question the judgment from superior officers. Rex once saved clone troopers Fives and Echo from a droid infiltration and invites them to join the 501st Legion and eventually promotes them to Advanced Recon Troopers. Later, Echo is seemingly killed in an explosion at the Battle of Anaxis, but just a few missions later, Jedi Master Pong Krell is seemingly making terrible tactical choices that are getting a lot of clones killed. Fives has a plan to take out a supply ship to shift the odds in their favor. Krell, however, rejects the idea. But this leads to Rex helping Fives and Jesse successfully pull it off anyways, and even though they were successful, Krell arrests them and orders their execution for disobeying orders. Rex ultimately refuses this order, and it eventually leads to the discovery that Krell has turned to the dark side and has been knowingly sending clones to their deaths in hopes that Dooku will recognize him and make him his apprentice. Rex decides to take Krell prisoner for treason against the Republic, though Dogma ends up shooting and executing him, further showing how the experiences of the clones can actually end up in vastly different personalities and viewpoints. Rex and Ahsoka became very close throughout their 3 years fighting in the Grand Army of the Republic and went on countless missions, both learning from each other. Ahsoka learned the importance of following orders, and Rex learned the importance of thinking outside the box, and not necessarily to disobey orders, but to interpret them a little more loosely, depending on the situation. Eventually though, Ahsoka was framed for an attack on the Jedi Temple, and Rex and Anakin searched for her, and eventually both worked to prove her innocence. Ultimately though, Ahsoka would end up leaving the Order anyways after that experience. A few missions later, Clone Trooper Tup had the inhibitor chip in his head malfunction, and he ended up killing a Jedi. He was ordered to Kamino for further evaluation, and Rex allowed Fives to stay and watch over Tup. The next thing Rex knew though, Fives had been accused of trying to assassinate the Chancellor, and an all-out manhunt went underway to find him. Fives contacted Rex and Anakin to speak to them privately, and they obliged, but because Fives was extremely stressed and previously drugged, he wasn't able to make complete sense to the two. You see, Fives had actually found out about the inhibitor chips that were implanted in all the clones, ordered by the Chancellor, and made them follow orders without question. This terrified him at the implications of such a device.
The Jedi instructed that inhibitor chips be implanted in us at birth, but Tup's malfunctioned. That's what made him lose control.
With negotiations going south, Fives reached for a blaster to try and make an escape, but Commander Fox and his squad showed up and shot him through the heart. Rex didn't really believe the ramblings of Fives, but since he was one of Rex's best friends, he told him that he'd submit a report even though he knew it really wouldn't get looked at. The file, however, ended up being encrypted and locked away in the Republic archives for no one to ever see. A bit later, the Republic discovers that a signal is being broadcast from Echo's codes, and Rex teams up with Clone Force 99, an elite group of genetically altered clones, to investigate. They end up finding Echo alive, but severely altered cybernetically, and helping the Separatists. They're able to save Echo, and he ends up joining Clone Force 99 for specialized missions. It's been a while since Ahsoka has left the Order by now, but eventually Rex and the 501st learn that Ahsoka has returned to ask for help with the Siege of Mandalore and to deal with Darth Maul. Anakin and Obi-Wan have to go on a mission to save the Chancellor, so Anakin instead ends up promoting Rex to a commander, and he splits the 501st Legion. Half of them go with Ahsoka under Rex's command, and the rest follow Obi-Wan and Anakin. This also conveniently explains why Ahsoka and Rex were absent from Revenge of the Sith, as they were off on another battle at the time. Although Rex didn't outwardly show it, it was very clear that Ahsoka leaving the Order hurt him a lot too, which is when you can clearly see with how the 501st reacted upon learning she was returning, with all of the clones painting their helmets to show their respect for their former commander. They were able to take down Maul and restore Mandalore, but on their way back to Coruscant, Order 66 was executed.
Execute Order 66.
Yes, Lord Sidious.
Rex. Rex?
No.
I'll do it.
Rex, what's happening?
Killing Ahsoka was so fundamentally against his nature because of their bond that he was temporarily able to resist long enough to tell Ahsoka to look for the report he submitted about Fives a while back.
Find him. Find him. Fives.
Find him!
This gave Ahsoka a chance to escape and find the report. After learning the truth, she was able to save Rex by removing the chip from his head. Jesse ended up holding a mutiny for Rex's treason, demoting him back to a captain, and assumed control of the 501st. Ahsoka and Rex, with the aid of Maul, were able to bring the ship down and ultimately killed the entirety of the 501st Legion aboard the ship. They buried all of the clones, and Ahsoka and Rex left for Padme's funeral and then parted ways. Rex decided to fight against the Empire, though, and teamed up with Clone Force 99. Rex wanted to help a lot of the clones get out of Imperial service that wanted to get out, and eventually he ended up saving his old clone friend Gregor. After the mission, Echo decided to leave Clone Force 99 for a bit to join Rex and help him fight against the Empire. Some years later, Rex had met up with Commander Wolffe and Gregor and all started living on an ATTE on the planet Selos. Ahsoka tried to reach out to Rex but hadn't gotten any response, so she ends up sending the Ghost Crew to try and find him. Jedi Knight Kanan Jarrus was pretty defensive when he first saw they were clones that they were trying to recruit into the rebellion, since he remembers how the clones hunted all the Jedi down. But luckily, Ezra was able to calm the situation down and eventually convinced Rex to join the Phoenix Squadron in the large-scale rebellion against the Empire. Rex went on many missions with the Ghost Crew and even helped train Ezra in combat exercises. On one mission, Rex went to pick up Ezra and Kanan and Ahsoka from a battle on a Sith temple, and Rex realized that Ahsoka was not with the team and was really just devastated to have lost his old friend. Many missions later, Rex teams up with Wolffe and Gregor again to fight against the Grand Admiral Thrawn, where Rex had a complete confidence in Ezra's plan even though it sounded crazy because he was fighting alongside a Jedi again. In the battle, Gregor was fatally shot and he dies saying that it was an honor to fight with Rex on something they chose to believe in, which really exemplifies how manipulated the clones were, and it was great to see them finally realize that they aren't just fighting for something because it was programmed into them to be loyal, but they're fighting for it because they truly believed it was the right thing to do. Rex continued to fight in the rebellion and was once again promoted to commander. He was then handpicked as one of the people to go down as part of the strike team on the Battle of Endor. We don't know what Rex does after the Empire was taken out, but it's definitely possible we will learn through the Ahsoka show since Tamara Morrison was cast to play Rex, though of course we don't know if this will be present day or a flashback. By the time of the Ahsoka show, he'll be about 40, which is like 80 in clone years, provided the age acceleration doesn't slow down as the clones get older. So I'm really hoping that he's still alive, though again, he's getting kind of old these days, but I would really love to see him see Ahsoka again. you know, after thinking she died on Malachor, so I think that would just be a happy reunion that Rex really kind of deserves. But there you have it, Captain Rex has been an instrumental part of the Clone Wars and has made such a big contribution, which is what makes him my favorite clone and personally just one of my favorite characters. I hope you were able to learn something new and are as excited to see him in live action in the Ahsoka show as I am. I'm Keegs, and I will catch you all next time for some more Star Wars content.